Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time. This is something that I'm hoping that lots of people can relate to because this is about films, and sometimes if you do like comics and graphic novels it can be a bit niche, and I'm about to start a project on Batman graphic novels which I'm going to talk about in another video. So there's a video coming up soon which talks about the project and talks about the first one I'm going to talk about. But before that, I wanted to do a tier ranking video about the Batman films because I love Batman the character. I love Gotham. I love the villains. I love all the different portrayals that we've had of the characters. So not just the different portrayals of Batman, but the different portrayals of the villains as well, and all the different ways that Alfred's been portrayed as well. And I just think if you look at the 11 films I'm going to be talking about in this video, there's such a variety and such an interesting spectrum of quality as well. But the top 3 films, I think, are just incredible films. Absolutely incredible films. 3 of the greatest films ever made. And there's a big clump in the middle that I think are really, 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 really good. And then there's a few at the end that I don't think are that good. So I'm going to go reverse order, and then we'll get to the top 3, which I do think are just absolutely incredible films at the end. All right. So let's start with the film that I didn't really like that much, and it's clearly got a massive budget. It's got a lot of heart and soul, I think, from the creator of it, because he does put a lot of his own take on these things. But some of it really annoyed me and some of it just didn't like. And that was Batman vs. Superman, which comes from 2016. It was part of the big Zack Snyder project of doing the Justice League and Man of Steel and all that sort of stuff. And I think it's patchy. I think some of the stuff that's in that series of films are good. You know, the Wonder Woman film is brilliant. The Man of Steel film, I think, is good. But yeah, Batman vs. Superman, real disappointment, proper disappointment. So I'm choosing that as the lowest one in this ranking. I don't think it's that good. And you know, the thing that made you just want to shake your head and just think, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" is when they decide to stop fighting each other because their mother's got the same name. It's just such a ridiculous scene. But I would never write a film off just because of one scene. But I'm not going to say the entire film is terrible, but I didn't really connect to it, and I was really disappointed by it. So Batman vs. Superman is the lowest one on this rung. So just above that is the 1997 film Batman and Robin. So the two Joel Schumacher films are quite often described as some of the worst Batman films, and I do think that they've got this strange character to them. They're trying to evoke the fun campiness of the 60s, but they're also trying to be dramatic action films that have got a modern feel as well, and it's just a really odd mix. But Batman and Robin has got George Clooney as Batman, which is kind of odd. I think I do get why he was cast. I don't think it's a completely bizarre casting, but it doesn't really work. I don't think he's probably one of the worst Batmen, but it's the film that doesn't really fit, and the plot is really quite messy, I think. But yeah, I think they tried to do too much with it, basically, I think. So yeah, it's a bit of fun, though. I mean, I don't think any of these films are really terrible, but that's my second one up. So out of this 11 films, that's number 10, Batman and Robin. And then the next one up, the number 9, is Batman Forever from 1995. So Batman Forever is the other Joel Schumacher one, and it was a huge shift in tone from the previous one, Batman Returns. And Batman Forever has obviously got Val Kilmer as Batman, and it's got Two-Face and the Riddler So you've got Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey as the main villains, and Tommy Lee Jones is an amazing actor. I mean, Jim Carrey, it makes perfect sense for him to be the Riddler, but he's not really one of my favourite Riddlers. I do love the Riddler character, but I think probably because the character is so brilliant, it's tough competition, basically, because he doesn't really do a bad job, but some of the other Riddlers have been phenomenal. Frank Gorshin's my favourite Riddler, by the way, and that's really that's very overacting. He eats the scenery, but I just think Frank Gorshin's phenomenal. But regardless of that, you know, Jim Carrey does suit the part, absolutely. Tommy Lee Jones really does, and he really hams it up, and he's really big on screen in that role, which is great. But it doesn't always work. The scenes are a bit flat sometimes, and yeah, it's just after the greatness of the two Tim Burton films as well, it's a big disappointment. So yes, number 9 for those reasons, and then number 8 is a lot of fun, but really it's number 8 because we're getting into a period of great films. So I wouldn't say to anyone to not watch it, but it is just a little bit of fluff. And it's the 1966 film Batman the Movie, with Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman Robin, and Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, and Burgess Meredith, the great Burgess Meredith, as the Penguin, and Cesar Romero as the Joker as well. You know, it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, so that's my number 8. Simply because it's just a lot of fun and it's not quite as dramatic as the other ones. And then possibly a surprise, but I really did like this film. So apologies if you're just going to throw your hands in the air and go, what is this guy talking about? But my number 7 is The Flash. My number 7 is The Flash from 2023. So the most recent one in this list, but I'm including it because Batman has such a big role in the film. And it was wonderful to see Michael Keaton back as the Batman again. And I liked the plot. I liked the way it was done. I walked away thinking that was a cracking film. I really did enjoy it. And there's some great moments with Batman in it. And yeah, I will defend that film. It's been critically slammed and it wasn't great at the box office. Although I think I'm right in saying that the box office issue is more about how much it cost. I think it did take a lot of money, but because I don't think it made money because it cost so much, I think. But you can correct me in the comments on that one. But I do think it's underrated. I think it's much, much better than people said it was. So yeah, that's my number 7. My number 6 is Batman Begins. So we're getting into a great level of filmmaking now. Christopher Nolan's first Batman in his trilogy, Batman Begins. I think it's a fantastic beginning. Christian Bale is a fantastic actor to be cast as Batman, and he did an amazing job, and he was a brilliant Bruce Wayne. And I kind of liked Michael Caine as Alfred, but I think I had to get used to it a little bit. I don't think he's perfect casting, but yeah, it kind of worked. I mean, he's a favourite actor of Christopher Nolan, so it does make sense. Maybe if I remember, I'll tell you who my favourite Alfred is at the end. But yeah, Batman Begins is a fantastic beginning, and obviously Liam Neeson is a fantastic part of that film. I won't spoil it to tell you who he is. But, he's got a great part in that film as well. But yeah, Batman Begins is a really nice depiction of Gotham as well. And it just works really well. It's just a brilliant film. So then the next one up, number 5, is Dark Knight Rises. And Dark Knight Rises is obviously the third in the trilogy, which features Bane as the main villain. But Scarecrow's back as well. So Scarecrow featured in Batman Begins. But Scarecrow's back for Dark Knight Rises. And, brilliantly done by Cillian Murphy. And again, Christian Bale is just amazing in this role. It's a very long film and there's quite a lot of plot to it. because it's all about Batman's recovery, or Bruce Wayne's recovery from a massive confrontation with Bane. But Bane's portrayal is just amazing, and the way they build up this situation that just looks like Gotham's screwed is just so brilliant. It's brilliant that Tom Hardy does such a great job on Bane as well. So yeah, my number 5 is Dark Knight Rises from 2012. So number 4 is Batman from 1989, the film that changed cinema, changed superhero films. From the Batman film, you get, a few years later, you get the X-Men films, and then, you get cinema taking this kind of storytelling seriously. And they took a risk with Tim Burton, and he just did a phenomenal job. And Michael Keaton is such a good Batman. So many things that are right about this film. It's just amazing. And Jack Nicholson is a fantastic actor to play the Joker. So yeah, Batman from 1989 is my number 4, and it's just a great film. All right, these are the top 3. The ones I said are just incredible films. So number 3, and I could really say they're all joint number 1, really, the top 3, but I'm going to put them in an order anyway, just because, in the spirit of what I'm doing. But number 3, or joint first, is 2022's The Batman. So Matt Reeves' new take on Batman with Robert Pattinson and Colin Farrell and Zoe Kravitz. It's just Jeffrey Wright. It's like just an incredible film. I couldn't believe it when I watched it. I absolutely loved it, and I was gripped. It was great to have this sort of detective element brought to the fore. Ultimately, Batman is a detective, and they haven't really dwelled on that much in the films, and they really did it. Great service in that Matt Reeves film, The Batman. The atmosphere is phenomenal. It was a real genuine mystery, creepy as hell at times, really intense, and just amazing. So yeah, The Batman from 2022 is my 3rd favorite, and it's just, I don't know, I'm going to say I think it's a perfect film. So my number 2 is number 2. It's higher than number 3 for kind of personal reasons. It just really taps into the stuff I love, like the imagery and the tone of it, the quirkiness of it, the weirdness of it. I just love it so much. And that's 1992's Batman Returns from Tim Burton. Batman Returns, 1992. Danny DeVito's Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, and Michael Keaton back as Batman. Unbelievable film. Absolutely love it. And it's a lot of fun, but it's also quite dramatic. It's completely mad. But I just love it. I love that side of Gotham. I like the craziness of it, but I like the fact it's kind of grounded in a bunch of psychopaths. They're not superhuman. They're just messed up. And I love that. And I love the way they kind of created Penguin's backstory as well, with Danny DeVito's portrayal, and the fact that he was trying to get popular with the people and then just turns on them and starts randomly killing them and all that kind of thing. Just brilliant. So yeah, I love Batman Returns a lot, and I've seen it many, many times. So my number 1, it might not be a massive surprise because it is so popular, but it's from 2008, and it's the second one of Christopher Nolan's films, The Dark Knight, with the iconic, hugely influential, and much acclaimed performance of the Joker by Heath Ledger. And obviously we've still got Christian Bale as Batman, but it brings in other elements of the plot, but it is really mostly about the Batman versus Joker dynamic, but the sense of lunacy with the Joker and his unpredictability and some of the crazy stuff that he does in the film. And then you got a big finale with the choice that he gives Batman. You either save your sort of love interest or this huge load of people that are hanging by a thread, all that sort of stuff. It's just awesome. And yeah, I mean, it is dominated by Heath Ledger's performance, but it's such a great film, and it's really well written, and it's just brilliant. So yeah, Dark Knight from 2008 is my number one choice in this tier ranking of Batman films. So I wanted to do this as the start of my journey through the classic graphic novels that I'll be doing over the next year or so. And I've already got a film review I did when it came out of the Batman from 2022, because it knocked me for six, so I did a video of it when it came out. But other than that, this is going to start a playlist of Batman related things as well. So please let me know below what your favorite Batman films are, and thanks for watching. Stay curious, everybody.